We have had a mystery on our hands this week. The scholars in this room are the crew of a mighty ship, the Envisioneer. While in search of an ancient treasure, we were marooned onto an island, and the key part of the navigational map went missing. Of the entire crew, we considered 4 suspects. Today, you will hear the evidence collected against Dr. Smart and Shipwright Nick.
My name is Sage.
Hi, my name is Camilla.
And it was our job to learn about splint slings, all different types of fractures, and more.
I'm going to tell you about compartment syndrome. Limbs are made of compartments, groups of bones, muscles, blood vessels, and nerves surrounded by elastic connective tissue. If swelling occurs within a compartment because of bleeding or a broken bone, the pressure inside these compartments may increase. If it increases above 30 millimeters of mercury, this can cut off circulation to the limb, causing tissue death. You can recognize compartment syndrome with the 5 P's: pain, pallor, pulselessness, and paresthesia, and paralysis.
Next, I'm going to tell you about the types of fractures we learned about. An open fracture is any type of fracture that includes broken skin. A closed fracture is any type of fracture that does not have broken skin. A simple fracture is a single break through the bone. Comminuted fractures are multiple breaks or crushed portions of the bone. We learned about this because there were some crewmates that were hit by fallen ship parts during the shipwreck. They had breaks and some fractures. And then let's demonstrate how to do Sam splint. Okay, so you put your arm in and you mold it towards the arm. You take the bandage gauze, you wrap it around okay, and then you put the little thing that helps it stay on. Okay, and then for sugar tongue splint, yeah? Okay. You take this, put it around her neck. And you take this triangle part and put it there. Like that. Okay.
It was also our job to help people with shortness of breath, wheezing, and accelerated heart rate.
We built a model lung using balloons and clay.
The straw coming out of the cup represents our trachea or nostrils. The balloon attached to the straw represents the actual lung. The cup is what protects the lung, and the bottom balloon is our diaphragm.
If air escapes out of the lung, this is called pneumothorax. Options to treat it include a hollow needle or chest tube insertion, surgery, or observation.
In conclusion, if we had not learned about the respiratory system, not everybody would have lived during this journey.
And now our engineering specialists would like to introduce themselves.
We are the engineering specialists. My name is Nathan, and my fellow engineers are Juan and Sammy. Now Juan will talk about why we had to build our MBOTs.
Hi, my name is Juan, and during our week here in Vision, we learned multiple things such as crime scene investigation and medical examination and engineering. Throughout the week, we also built multiple things. For example, we built these MBOTs so that we could rescue missing crew members from the inhabited island. The crewmates that were missing were First Mate Signe Young and Shipwright Robert Neff. Once we found them, we had to program the robots to get them back to the island to the ship safely. For that part, I will pass you to my friend Nathan.
The MBOT has many functions. One function is when the MBOT moves forward until it senses something in its path. The second one is when you program it to go do things for you. Then Then the last one is when you control it with your phone or tablet. Now that I am done, Xiaomi has the last bit of information.
This week we built a truss bridge because a flood occurred. In order to avoid starvation, we built a bridge out of paper clips and straws to get across the water and get food. We also had to make it sturdy enough for our MBOTs to cross. In order to do this, we had to use the engineering design process, or EDP. The EDP goes in this order. Emphasize. What problem are you trying to solve? Define. How would you describe the problem? Ideate. How many solutions can you think of? Prototype. How can you build a model of your best idea for a solution? And lastly, test. Is your design the best solution to solve the problem? And I'll pass the next segment to Med Examiner B.
Hello, my name is Xavier,
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Edgar.
and we are the medical examiners. We explored the cardiovascular system because in our CSI story, Neff told the crew members to explore more of the island to find treasure, which caused them to feel fatigued and can lead to heart failure. We explored parts of the cardiovascular system and how things work. For example, veins lead all throughout your body and spreads blood flow. We also learned about different chambers of the heart. There's the vena cava, right atrium, and right ventricle. Blood goes through the vena cava into the right atrium to the right ventricle. We even dissected a beef heart to learn more about parts of the heart. Now I'll pass it on to my fellow examiner, Edgar.
Another responsibility of us Med Examiner B was to save our crew members from a venomous snake bite. Snake venom contains toxins. There are two main type of toxins. That they are neurotoxin and herotoxins. Neurotoxins can affect your nervous system, which helps you see, feel, and hear. If toxins reach your nervous system, one may start losing sight and control of their body. If toxins set in your blood, you may begin to have blood clots and be at high risk of death.
As my fellow examiner stated, a crew member was bitten by a snake. We had to learn what to do, such as stay calm and call 911, and what not to do, like don't suck venom out of your mouth. We had to learn about this because Shipwright Neff kidnapped First Mate Sidney Young while he was trying to steal the treasure. Shipwright Neff kidnapped Sidney Young because she saw him and a mysterious man talking in a dark hallway. While in the dark hallway, the mysterious man gave Shipwright Neff a paper, which Neff put in his toolbox very quickly. Thanks to our robot programming, Sidney was found. The snake that bit her was a Malayan pit viper, which is a hemotoxic snake, which my partner Edgar already stated. When Sidney Young got bitten, her sight got blurry and she hallucinated. After giving her anti-venom and much needed rest, Sidney's belief that she was kidnapped by Neff and Dr. Smart remained. Now our blood splatter analyst will further explain the investigation. But before that, we have an experiment. So when you get hemotoxins in you, what happens is your blood gets clogged.
It affects your blood, and it can lead to blood clotting. So this is what it looks like.
It turns chunky.
Hello, my name is Noel,
My name is Ian.
and we are blood analysts. We analyze blood drop activities. When the captain woke up and he saw the crime scene, there was blood splatter at the scene, so it was our job to look into this part of this investigation.
We tested blood drops from different heights from 12 inches, 30 inches to 66 inches. On the body, these heights could be from the ankles to the head. We have files of us dropping the blood drops from different heights. Once we got the files from the crime scene, we concluded that it was from 30 inches. Neff had Neff had a gash on his head, so we believe that he was bending down to 30 inches after he got stabbed or whatever.
Then we used average to determine the size of the drop with 3 trials. We compared the drops after that. Here we believe that Neff was guilty.
Now we will pass the rest of the information to our fellow buddies, the forensic scientists.
Hello, my name is Nolan,
Hi, my name is Mia.
and we are forensic scientists. It was our job to analyze the white mysterious powder and fingerprints found at the crime scene. In order to find out what the powder was as well as who the fingerprint belonged to, an experiment needed to be done.
That's right. We tested 3 different powders, baking soda, powdered sugar, and cornstarch, and mixed them with iodine and vinegar to observe and test the reactions. After identifying the powder to be cornstarch, we began to look at Dr. Smart as a suspect.
Cornstarch is used to soothe skin from sunburns and an attempt to cover up fingerprints. The fingerprints found at the crime scene also need to be analyzed.
Before testing the fingerprints, we looked at 3 main fingerprint patterns. Those were arches, loops, and whorls.
So here we have a fingerprint found at the crime scene and an overturned cup. And we use these dusters. And then we found out who the suspect was due to the fingerprints here.
After analyzing all the fingerprints at the crime scene, we discovered that the accomplice of Shipwright Neff was Dr. Smart. The fingerprints was direct evidence because it was proven whose fingerprint was at the crime scene.
They were the ones who stole the missing piece of the map.
To conclude, if we had not done all of these experiments, we would not have found out that Shipwright Neff and Dr. Smart were the ones who stole the missing piece of the map.
Thank you for your time, everyone, and that concludes our presentation.